Hello Internet, Brian here for Work to Game videos, and today I wanted to talk to you about the Xbox One. Namely that they've had a very interesting year, and one that I think has actually surprised a lot of people, including myself. Ever since they showed off the Xbox One S at E3 and really talked about Project Scorpio, which is set to come out next holiday season, so around about a year from now, I guess the conversation really was that they kind of shot themselves in the foot with the Xbox One S. And frankly, I didn't actually think they did that, but I could see how it was easily, speculated that they just announced this beautiful new console and it's not going to sell because everybody's going to wait for the Project Scorpio. But obviously the big news is that the Xbox One has actually been the best-selling console for the last 4 months here in the United States. I believe also in Europe, but I could be wrong on that factor. And this has obviously been for years of sales being dominated by the PS4. So we've seen Microsoft bring out deals and bundles and all these various things to kind of self-correct from kind of their launch. I wouldn't call it disastrous because they still managed to sell a lot of systems and better than the Xbox 360, but regardless, that it was when you compare to the PS4, it was clear there was an obvious winner when it comes to that. So I actually thought this was going to actually happen last year, namely because Xbox One has really been having exclusive game after exclusive game, and those games have all been relatively well received. This time last year, the big marketing push was the greatest games lineup in history, and each month saw a release of a brand new exclusive, as well as a lot of great third-party games. But the line really didn't move so much. Sony, on the other hand, had a very slim year as far as their exclusive games go, but they really did well relying on their third-party games. In fact, it was as an older gamer, someone who's followed the market for a long time, it was clear that exclusives are great, but people like to play games where their friends play games, and third-party games also have been phenomenal. They have been really something else, especially these past couple of years. Now, I personally don't really care for any console war. I think they're fun, and it's always fun to watch and root and see what happens. But in the end, I actually like to have all the various systems. And here is kind of where I favor Microsoft in terms of really their controller and their services. But I like my PS4 just as much, and it gets a lot of playtime, especially with my wife and I when we play Final Fantasy 14 together. Hashtag bring Final Fantasy 14 to Xbox One, please. Anyway, what I think we're seeing is a few different things that are going on. One is that we have gamers trading in older Xboxes for the S model, and it's really slick. My brother actually did this very thing, and his system is gorgeous, and he's absolutely very happy that he did that and he traded in for the S. Personally, I think that just the fact that they've gotten rid of the power brick makes me want to go and upgrade, but I'm going to hold off and wait to take a look at the Scorpio. So, two is obviously we've got gamers who've been waiting for Microsoft to release a slimmed down version of the Xbox One, and so in this case I think they succeeded, and they almost obviously, like I said, got me. It just depends on, I decided to wait for Scorpio and to see what that's all about. But speaking on Scorpio a bit, this is something that should be pretty interesting, and they say it's already sounds way more powerful than a PS4 Pro. They've mentioned various numbers. I'm not going to really get into that. It just sounds interesting to me at this point in the life cycle. So that should be coming out around 4 years since the system was originally released. So we'll learn more about it at this E3. I don't know if it's got I guess the curiosity of it is that does it have enough weight behind it to make people think regarding the PS4 Pro to either hold off on getting that upgrade and get a Scorpio, or who knows. Anyway, so I digress. Anyway, number 3, obviously they hit the price point. The price is really good, and it does make a lot of sense because there's just a lot of great games, and this also applies for the PS4. The system's been out for a while. They have a lot of really great games that should be played if you're somebody who really enjoys video games, and the price point has really fallen into that right market. So anyway, I think those are kind of the 3 kind of big key successes to why Xbox is doing so well. this year. So anyway, needless to say, the fact is Xbox is obviously doing better. It's good for the game community as a whole, and what does remain to be seen, and what I'm going to be following, especially in December and in January with the numbers and the holiday, is for how well the PS4 Pro does now that is out and about. So obviously the PS4 has been a huge hit and hugely successful this generation, and by all accounts, actually both systems, have been really successful this generation. But what's really interesting is going to see if does the PS4 Pro entice enough PS4 users to upgrade. Personally, it doesn't give me enough incentive to upgrade my PS4. Or is it going to be somebody who's going to bring in a lot of new players who have yet to pick up any form of PlayStation? So they now have the base slim model, what they're calling, and they have the Pro model. So it will be interesting to see if there are, especially tons of gamers out there who have yet to upgrade into this generation. If they go in and they go in for the Pro, and we'll see. I guess we'll find out here as the months roll on. So anyway, what do you think? I don't see Microsoft making much headway in Japan, obviously, anytime soon. So that PlayStation's going to have their market there for a very, very long time. But I do see the Xbox One taking up more market share in the US and Europe. And I think as a company, Microsoft really can make this happen, obviously, by if defaulting to opening up their pocketbook. So I would never, ever count them out personally. Anyway, so let me know what your thoughts are on the PS4 Pro with the Xbox One S. Project Scorpio, just leave your thoughts in the comments below, like if you're going to pick up any of those. And we'll go from there. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. This has been Brian for Work to Game Videos, and I'll see you next time.